If you're a freshman just starting out in high school and you're just a little bit nervous, you don't really know what to expect, you need some tips, I got you, girl. Hi y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to be giving y'all some little tips, some tricks and things that from my personal experience in freshman year, and I'm going to be giving them to y'all. I have a whole bunch of different things between friends, study tips, dating, drama, dress code, all these different things, and I'm going to be covering them in this video. I am going into my junior year of high school, so I'm now an upperclassman, so I've got some different tips. Even if you're a sophomore, you could use some of these. Okay, so if you're an introvert like me, I know extroverts have a little bit easier time making friends, but if you're an introvert like me, it is so difficult. So if I had to give y'all one tip, it would be join clubs and sports. So I'm on the varsity swim team, and all of my closest friends, like the people I hang out with the most, my best friends, all of them I met through the swim team. And first of all, it kind of gives you a way to connect with your school and just be involved a little bit. It looks better for colleges also, and helps you to meet friends. It's just an easier way to meet some more people, and they have friends that you can meet, and then you just end up having all these friends, and it gives you something to do. It makes high school more interesting instead of just going to school, learning, coming home, doing homework, and going to bed. Like, it gives high school a little bit more fun. They do have things like clubs that are not sports. If you're not a sportsy person, maybe you want to try fine arts. There's band and things like that. I also have, I don't know about other schools, but I know my school has we have a Spanish club, we have a business club, we have so many different clubs and things. Find something that interests you and get involved. I promise you'll thank me later. Okay, so this next one, I'm going to kind of break up into 3 different sections. So the first one is going to be taking notes. You'll mostly learn this in sophomore year, but freshman year, take notes. Find a good way to take notes. Don't write down everything. Write down the important things and try and group it up. I am one to color code everything. I know that's not a lot of people's forte, but try and find a way that makes note-taking actually useful for you, because I promise later when that test comes around and you need those notes, it is going to be so hard when you don't set it up and you just write down literally everything and you can't find what you're actually needing to study for. Okay, next part, studying. I always thought, I did this a lot in freshman year and a little bit in sophomore year, except I had to learn not to do this. You gotta study, okay? I know maybe that test is on Friday and you know it's coming and you learn about it Monday or something, and you're like, oh, I'll wait till Thursday and then I'll start to study, and you're cram studying all this stuff. You might get maybe a 50 or something. You might know half of the stuff. But if you were to start on Monday when you first learned about it, study maybe 5-10 minutes a day, not asking for an hour, 5-10 minutes, and you just look over, trust me, it'll seriously help you. It just is in your brain. It's you just know what you're doing, especially math stuff. If they give you homework and things, actually do it. Because let me tell you, Algebra 2, sophomore year, oh my gosh, I did the homework, I got 100 on the test. I didn't do the homework, I had no idea what I was doing. So seriously, actually study, because it'll actually help your grades, I promise. Another thing I forgot to mention in the study part, Quizlet will be your best friend. I learned about it sophomore year. They have flashcards, they have practice tests, they have little matching games, especially for vocab tests, but they have it for other questions and things. If you want to do one for a math test, you put some math questions on there, math problems, and then you put all the answer choices. Quizlet was seriously my best friend sophomore year, especially in AP World. So you'll definitely be using that. I highly recommend that if you need a study tool. Okay, this one kind of goes hand in hand with the taking notes, studying, all that stuff. Time management. Okay, I was always putting all my work off to the edge, off to the side, oh, it's not due for another, week or something, and then the day before, I am rushing to finish, and it does not come out great. I promise, if you just write as you get it, do as much as you can, maybe even finish it, because yes, they give you a week to do something, or maybe 2 weeks to finish a project. If you do it, you finish it, and you get it done early, it's done. You don't have to stress about it. You don't have to forget about it till 12 o'clock at night because you're stressing because it's due the next day. Just get it done. Time management, separate it out. I will promise you, it'll help the anxiety. It'll help the stress levels. It will help you so much in high school. My next tip is no one cares. Okay, I know that sounds really harsh, but when I say no one cares, I mean when I went into freshman year, I was so worried about what people are going to think of me. I need to get all these like fancy, like I need to have cute outfits. I need to have like a name brand backpack. I need to have all this stuff because I was so worried about what people thought about me. I was so nervous to raise my hand in class. Like I was just so scared about all these things. But once I got to sophomore year, I learned nobody cares. Just be yourself. You'll have so much more fun living life if you just don't care. Just find your group of people and be yourself, because everyone else is so worried about themselves. They're too busy to worry about you. Okay, so my next tip, I don't really know how to say this, but like your grades dipping. I know in middle school, like I always had all A's, maybe a B here and there, but they were like a really high B. And then when I got to high school, my grades dropped. I had mostly B's, I had a few A's, and it just really kind of stressed me out, especially because my sister would show me her grades and she had like all these good grades. But when I like sophomore and freshman me, like I had like not as good of grades. High school is so much harder, especially when you get to like sophomore, junior, senior year where you have AP classes. They're going to be harder and they are going to have more work and you're not going to have as good of grades. I know some people can keep up with that and can maintain 95s, 97s, but not everyone can. And so your grades will dip between middle school and high school. Don't stress about it. I don't mean like let your grades drop because that's what everyone's grades are doing. Like still try hard and still try and keep them up, but don't stress if they just suddenly go, if they're lower than they were in middle school, because high school is harder. It's just the way it is. So don't stress about that, but still try your best. Okay, so my next tip is relationships. I can't really say all this stuff because I am a girl. I only know it from the girl's perspective, but just relationships in general, they're really not that big of a deal. I mean, yes, some high school relationships work out. Like I know a lot of them that are really healthy relationships, but there are so many people that just go through boyfriends just because it looks cool to have another person, to have a relationship and to have that, but it really is not that deep, and people really make it like this like really big thing. And I know freshman year I made it like my number one thing almost, and it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. So like don't let it get in the way of school. Like seriously, it's not that big of a deal. Most people just look for relationships so they have a date to HOCO or prom or something like that. It's not that big of a deal. If you end up in a relationship, great, but don't put it as your number one thing above everything else. Kind of going along with the relationships, there is this like known rule, like dating other grades. There's this kind of known rule that if the grades don't touch, you don't touch. Some of y'all probably have heard that. I just recently heard that. But like freshmen and sophomores can date, sophomores and juniors can date, and juniors and seniors can date. But if you're like a freshman and senior, we don't want to see that. Get that out of here. That's not, no. Like I know when like later in life people are married and they're like 10 years apart, that's fine. Because when you're older, age doesn't really matter too much. But in high school, it's weird, okay? No, just don't. Date within your grade, and if not, only the grade next to you. If the grades don't touch, you don't touch. Okay, so my next one is parties and things. So people always think going into high school, there's the high school parties, there's drinking, there's vaping, all this stuff. It's really not cool. You're gonna regret it later in life. Just don't do it. Especially the people that are in the bathrooms vaping. It's disgusting. Like when I just need to go to the bathroom and people are in there doing that, no, I just want to do my business and go back to class. Like it's really not cool. It's really not. It's gross. Don't do it. That's really my only advice to you. Just don't. You're gonna regret it. I know people, like adults, that did it in high school and then they regretted it later and they're just a mess. Just seriously don't. It's gonna mess up the rest of your life. Okay, so my next category is drama. There's a lot of drama in high school. It is definitely more like, I don't want to say serious than middle school, but like, you know what I'm talking about. Like there is like more drama in high school than probably middle school, but most of the drama is who took whose man. Nobody cares. These guys don't care about you. Most of them. Some of them you can find some good guys, but like seriously, they're really not that great. Don't waste your time and don't lose your friends over these people. Really, it's not that deep. So like just try and keep the drama out. It's really not worth wasting your high school experience. Okay, my last tip, and probably one of the ones that really gets on my nerve hall passes. Okay, most schools do them, but if you're gonna use the hall pass, go to the bathroom, drop something off at your teacher's, like another teacher's classroom or something. Don't use it to go walk around in the halls, because I know people that did that, and it's really annoying when you have to go to the bathroom so bad, but somebody's walking around the school for 30 minutes because they're so bored in this class, and it's like, I'm about to go in my pants right now. Like, I need to go, but you can't go because there's no hall pass. So if you're gonna go somewhere, do it during passing period. I know towards the end of the year, it gets really boring and you just want to walk around with your friends. Don't use the hall pass. Seriously, it is so frustrating. There's only one, and people have other things that are more important that they need to do, and you are using up the hall pass. So if you're gonna go to the bathroom, you're gonna drop something off, be fast, because there's more people that need to leave. Okay, so that is it for all my tips. I hope I covered everything, and I hope you have a really good freshman and sophomore year. Bye, y'all.